I just lost my mind.
Oh, I can't help you with that.
Sure you
Is
can.
it down here somewhere?
No, it floated in the back.
It floated out. Well, the problem was the thought went in this way, and then it did the omega, and then went up.
I think so.
Yeah, anyway.
Hey friends, you're watching BrainStorm Acres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
Well, yesterday we announced our first winner for our monthly gift card giveaway.
Mm-hmm.
That was for the month of June. And I want to remind you that if you want to enter for the month of July, all you have to do is comment on any, ideally all of our videos, and you'll automatically be entered. Now the way we choose the winner is we choose a day of the month at random.
Using a random number generator.
You can see that in yesterday's show because I showed everything that we did.
Right, the program chooses the number of the month.
And then we use that to select the video out of our playlist. And then we put that URL into a random comment picker. We use a third party's random comment picker. And we showed you that on camera as well. We have no control over it. It picks who it picks. And for the month of June, it picked Lakeside Homestead with Dave and Karen.
Right, right. And we talk with Karen all the time, so that was kind of fun. Henry had an interesting experience today.
Yeah, you know, we do these giveaways as a way of giving back to our followers on our YouTube channel. It's really not cool for somebody to try to spoof an email address so that we might think that they're the winners of the giveaway. Well, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't work.
Now, my favorite spoof of the week was the phone call I got yesterday. It was a recording. And we get, our usual phone calls are, you need to renew your service contract for your extended warranty.
Right.
So we don't own any vehicles that are young enough to have extended warranty.
No, not at all.
But my favorite one was yesterday. This has happened only once before, actually. A recording person sounding extremely serious about the fact that they're going to cut our electric. This is the electric company, and they're going to cut our power off. We have 35 minutes to get back in touch with them, to hit this specific number on the keyboard so that we can talk to the disconnect office. And honestly, whoever arranged that thing, I mean, they used a dictionary. Their English was not even good enough to make it but it was funny. I was just like, I was so tempted. I told Henry I was so tempted to hit that number to talk to the disconnect office. But I decided not to because I had other things to do. But it was so tempting.
We've gone about doing some more planting. And because a lot of what we're doing right now is repeat of what we've been doing on our channel for a couple of years.
Yeah. We're not showing everything.
We did a high-speed version of Irene planting out some soybeans.
Right, because the way you plant soybeans is essentially the way you plant green beans and bush beans and peas and most other large seeded things. You go down an inch and you put them in troughs and then you cover them back up.
And then what do you do?
Water them.
And then you put drip irrigation on them. At least we do.
Yeah, well, we have to here. Otherwise, they would not even think about coming up.
Now, at the same time that Irene was doing that, I was out preparing some ground in our yard. It's terrible, terrible, terrible dirt.
Well, that area had been graded before we bought the property. That's where the part of the old mobile home setup was. Because when we bought this property, there was an old mobile home on it that we lived in for a number of years while we built this house.
So I went out and I scratched up the soil with the landscape rake that you've seen Irene use. That's so that I could get the Sorghum Sudan grass to nestle down into some of those furrows. Now, you need to put about an inch of soil over the top of those seeds, and I figure we had about a ½ inch of depth in those furrows. It was just some work, and a little sweaty.
No, it was sticky that day.
But it wasn't near as hot as it has been. We were up to 109 about 10 days ago, I think.
Yeah, for several days in a row, actually. It was right up around 7, 8, 9 for days and days.
It was miserable. So I went ahead and scratched up the surface and then hand broadcast the Sorghum Sudan grass. Now, the reason why we're using the Sorghum Sudan grass is to see if we can create some green manure for a compost. Ideally, what it's going to do is bring some of the nutrients up from deep down. And this grass is supposed to be very drought tolerant. We'll find out.
Right. Well, we need to water it today because it keeps promising to rain, and all it's doing is not giving us solar. So one of my jobs when we get done here is go water it.
Well, maybe I'll go water it. No, you'll do that because I'll be.
You'll be editing. This is tea, by the way, iced tea.
Yum.
It is. I know. I like mine strong. He looks at it like, oh. I like.
Yeah, it's mud.
You should be able to walk across the top of iced tea. Anyway.
We differ on that.
I know. He likes his watery.
So I went ahead and broadcast the Sorghum Sudan grass, and I shoveled some equally poured dirt over the top of it. There's pieces of caliche in it. There's some
Probably
soil.
some rocks.
There's plenty of rocks.
Yeah. But yeah, we're just going to do it as an experiment. This is the actual technical name of this stuff is Piper Sudan, but it is a type of Sorghum Sudan. It's a cross between sorghum and Sudan grass, and it's supposed to improve the soil. So we're going to try it as a cover crop, just a small section of the yard, and see what happens. We decided we'd try it now. It's as good a time as any.
Yeah, we planned to do it last year. In fact, I'd planned to go ahead and get it all planted out. But unfortunately, last year we didn't quite get 5 inches of rain all year long.
Yeah, we got 4.66 inches for the entire year. There was what we call a monsoon.
Yeah, there was no. Yeah, there was no.
literally no rain. During
No
the summer.
rain. No rain at all
Yeah.
in June, July, August, and September.
Right.
So it was pretty miserable. So I didn't plant the grass seed then.
Right.
We decided we'll go ahead and give it a shot now.
Right, and we'll give it some water, but the goal was to take advantage of any water that might come out of the sky, and we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, success, failure, whatever. We've been hanging on to the seed. You can only hang on to it for so long. I don't know what kind of germination we'll get out of it because it is a year old, but most of those things, if you've been stored correctly, should be okay.
Well, this has been more or less stored okay.
The whole point of it is to be able to let it grow, cut it, and use that as a green manure to keep adding green. And you can either leave it there and till it in, or you can you should actually be able to lift off several cuttings off of it and put it into compost and stuff like that.
Yeah, 3 or 4 cuttings is typically what you can get off this crop. We'll see. We'll definitely bring you along so you can see how it works. The point here is that we don't have topsoil pretty much anywhere on our property. We have topsoil.
We were going to talk a little bit about the soybeans that I grew, that I'm hoping to grow. I have grown them before. These are a non-GMO soybean designed, in the grocery store you'd buy it as edamame. It's a Japanese soybean that's designed for fresh eating. You eat them green, you wait till the pods get fat, plump with soybeans, and then you sit
And
there.
then how do you cook them?
They're just boiled with a little salt usually, and then you sit there and pop them open with your fingers and eat them. They're delicious. I love them. They're one of our favorite snacks when we go to Japanese restaurants. So
I haven't been to a Japanese restaurant in a long time.
no, we haven't. So we decided we'd try and grow them again. I have grown them before. I think I grew a different variety last time. This is the variety that has replaced the previous variety. So it is a soybean specifically designed for fresh green eating. And the nice thing about it is it should all come off in the same week or 2 weeks, but they freeze beautifully. So you just freeze them usually in the pods. We're doing a lot more fresh eating this year. We're not trying to preserve as much, but on the other hand, we're not having to buy as much by a long shot.
Yeah, we have plenty of canning jars. Now you know what time it is?
Probably time to go.
It's more than time to go.
Okay. Anything else I need to say?
You could say bye.
Oh, I could do that. So be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And remember, we're going to do this drawing every month.
Every single month.
Every single month. And you need to be subscribed and you need to comment. And every time you comment, that gives you another chance that you'll, of course, if your comments are rude or pornography URLs or something else like that, we will eliminate
They go
those.
away.
Come see us. We've got a lot going on. We're going to be doing more cooking again soon. It's time to run through some of our summer recipes that we like. We have a couple of new ones. I've been perfecting my techniques. And well, it's funny because, you learn a new recipe and then you're like, gosh, I'm still awful klutzy at that. And you want to be able to show people tricks. And I've watched a bunch of different chefs do a couple of these things and you're like, they're not telling me the things I had trouble with. So there's a couple of specific things I'm like, okay, when I teach this, I need to mention this problem to people. Because you're sitting there fumbling around feeling like an ultra klutz. And the food's always edible. It just doesn't look great because it's not pretty.
We have to really go.
We do. So until next time.
Bye.
Bye.